Hey guys, it's Trisha, the Left-Handed Stitcher. I'm here tonight to do my year-end 2020 WIP parade. Whoop whoop! So yay for a WIP parade and whoop whoop woot woot for the end of 2020. So I'm hoping 2021 goes better. I know it's not going to be better right away, but you know, it should progressively improve. So hopefully, COVID-wise is what I'm talking about. Alright, so I don't know if you guys notice, new camera, brand new camera. It has a much wider view, which is great for when I'm shooting straight down. But it I actually had to zoom in a little bit because it was just way too wide, you know, with the face on. And what I'm kind of noticing is I look at the LCD, which is to the, you know, side, instead of the camera lens. I tried so hard before to look at the lens, but I always look at the LCD, and I've had to accept that I do that. It seems a little markedly noticeable. I'm sorry, you know, I do apologize that it looks like I'm looking to the side of you, but then again, most people listen and not watch, and they look up from what they're doing whenever you show something, so I am not going to sweat it too much. I'm going to look into maybe getting another screen to put, you know, like underneath the lens instead. I don't know. I may go back to using my old camera for face on video and use the old camera, or the old camera for face, sorry, it's the old camera for face on and new camera for doing the desk stuff. That might be good. Alright. So I currently have 36 WIPs. So my plan is to do my WIP parade tonight, and then I will do like a finishes parade tomorrow. I'll prep that whenever I can. Sorry. I'm noticing that my hair is all kind of messed up. Okay, so let me show you guys this. This little tuft of hair over here. When I had shingles last year, or earlier this year, so I got it in March. Because this coming March is when I will be able to get my shingles vaccine taken care of. So my ear got so sensitive, and these little hairs right here were getting to be such a I lost my patience one day. I just had enough of them. I literally grabbed the whole clump and ripped it right out of my head. So now I'm having to deal with them growing back, and they're short and they stick out really badly. But I'm managing. All right, so let's get started with all of the WIPs. So I have them arranged alphabetically, and what I was doing today is I made little cards. So the thing that I used last time, so my last WIP parade was my welcome, you know, my introduction back into Flosstube after a pretty decent hiatus from it. That was it the 1st of April? No, 3rd. I think it was the 3rd of April. So not quite a year since I had my last WIP parade. But then again, who knows, maybe this will be a 6 month thing. Do a end of year and a mid-year let me know what your thoughts are on that. I've seen people do mid-year WIP parades, and since I do, well, I don't know. I have to think about it. Sorry, give me a second. I keep feeling I have, I have a bit of lip hair going, and I keep feeling it tickle, right here in the corner of my mouth. Just problems with everyday life that I have to deal with. Okay, so I created this spreadsheet for my previous WIP parade, and instead of printing it off every time, I decided I will just make little cards. So I printed on cardstock and I cut them apart so that I could put each one in each project bag. So this is nice. That means that I will only have to print off new ones the next time I do a WIP parade. So if I need to refer to any of the information, it'll be right here. So, alright, let's see if I can get a good rhythm going. Oh, before we get started, let me do this real quick so I don't forget. New shirt. So it says, little guy, little questy guy from, one of the things, and it says, I'm not procrastinating, I'm doing side quests. So I love geeky humor. Alright, so this is, well, let me see if I can, like I said, get into a good rhythm of sequence for this so I don't forget stuff. Okay, so this is what this project looks like. It's called Among Black Cats. It's a little weird. I think the whole series is Among Black Cats, but they only give it a number to differentiate between the I think there's 4 of them. But this was a kit that I ordered off of let's see, eBay seller, Disco 100 Vladimir. So there. Yeah, so it's gonna be an awkward night. Be prepared. Alright, so this is how far I've gotten. So the kitty's pretty much done. Now I just gotta work on the bag that he is having fun playing in, and then all the back stitching. So I'll give you vital stats on this. It's a kit by RTO. I switched out the kit fabric for a 32 count pewter Lugana, which is his Weigart, I believe. So I'm using all the kit threads, and what I'm gonna do is my normal stitch mode. Okay, this camera is throwing me off because it has a sound like equalizer thing on the corner down here. So whenever I talk, it moves and it keeps drawing my eye down. I'll have to learn. Maybe I can figure out how to turn that off. We'll see. Growing pains with new equipment. All right, so like I was saying, my normal stitching mode is 2/2 on even weaves, and I prefer Lugana above other even weaves, and I much prefer even weaves to any linen. I detest linen. So normal mode is 2/2 on even weaves, and most likely Lugana. So if I don't mention the type of fabric, assume it's Lugana. I will make sure to specify if there's something different, about a project. And of course it's 2/1 on Ada. That kind of goes without saying, because I do occasionally stitch on Ada. Okay, so let's see, I have it listed in a certain, so that's a certain sequence is the word. Project bag is a So Much to Love. This one I believe I bought off of Etsy. Yeah, it was a direct Etsy purchase. The Grime Guard is one that I've made, so I'll just say Grime Guard is mine because I made it. And Needleminder is also one that I made, so Needleminder is mine. I don't know, do I should just say mine or Grime Guard made by me, Needleminder made by me? I think that's what I'll do. But on the sheet I have written it down as mine, but it doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well. So, alright, so the start date on this one is, should I say the day? I don't think I'll say the day. I mean, it's good for me to know, but I don't think you really care about what part of a month I started it in. So let's go with month and year. So it was started in July of 2019. And it was started for a Magical Stitches prompt where Professor Umbridge and her kittens. So anything with a cat or a kitten. So, alright. So there it is. This one is a fun one. And let me remind you guys, I just had a piece of food because I have, I don't know if you see, I have a post where I'm going to have a crown and food gets stuck there. Kind of TMI. So, alright. Train of thought. I just lost that train of thought. Say bye to that train. Okay. Alright. So my empty bin is over this way. My two extremely full bins over here. Alright, so, but we will just plug away at these. Alright, so let me start with the project bag. Okay, so this here is a laptop bag that I ordered off of Amazon when I was, excuse me, the hazards of drinking Dr. Pepper on camera. When I was looking for a laptop bag for my new laptop, I ordered several, not several, but a few. And the ones that I didn't want to use for my laptop, I got shoved to the side, and so you know, it went longer than the window for you to return stuff, so I was kind of stuck with them. And that's how I decided, well, I might as well just use them. So I'm using them for my project bags for bigger stuff. Okay, so the next one on the docket is the Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth's Needlework Designs. So this is another one that's been around for a while. It was started March 2019 for a Magical Stitches prompt for arithmancy. I think I said that right. Having to do with letters and numbers. So, and I do note that this pattern is still available. Also, as far as I know, the Among Black Cats is available. This was, so if it's available, I'm not gonna say. If I know for a fact that it's out of print, I will mention it. Okay. Alright, so here's where I am. Alright, so I'm not gonna un-Q-snap most of these. I mean, because you've seen the top of this, so I'm not gonna sweat it too much. This will just take way too long if I'm doing all of that stuff. Alright, so this is all the called for threads. They're all fancy flosses. It's on 32 count cream, Lugana, Zweigart color, basic color. So if it's an over dyed, I will mention it, but if I just say a color name, or if I mention, like, if it's a picture of this plus, you know it's over dyed. If it's color in cotton, you know it's over dyed. All that stuff. So I've gotten a pretty good amount done. This one lends itself to a decent amount of prompts, and the one thing I want to mention is these two birds right here. I don't think they fit the overall theme, so I'm not doing them. So I'm gonna pull out this. I'm probably gonna frog this and either just move it over a couple of stitches or frog this as well, move this over further, and either redesign that or what. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I am graphing out another monster to put right here, because here be monsters. Birds aren't monsters, you know, so I don't know, it didn't, I went to stitch the birds and it just didn't sit well with me. So I left them off, and then over time I had the idea, well, let me find something else to stitch there that, you know, makes better sense for me. But this is a gorgeous project. It's fun to stitch, and the threads coordinate really, really well. Alright, so again, Grime Guard made by me, Needleminder made by me. I have a fair amount of my own stuff that I have made, because I have very eclectic taste, so a lot of times I just like to make my own stuff. Okay, so off you go. I'm really glad that I had the idea of doing those cards, putting, you know, to put in my bags. That'll just make prepping for the next WIP parade is just going to be that much easier. Okay, so this is a project bag, an Etsy seller called Creations by Mary Rose. I have a lot of her bags, so I love her bags. So what I'll do is, for these vinyl fronted ones, I'll try to take everything out so I can show you the whole bag. So this one has a pretty foliage and dragonfly motif, and bees and ladybugs and stuff, but in a pretty batik in the back. Alright, so my project is Azure Mermaid by Nora Corbett. And here she is. So everything that I've stitched is within the Q-snap, which is good for this. I am stitching it with all the called for DMC, and then all the call for beads. Let's see if I can adjust this just a little bit so I can do this. Yeah, I think that works better. Alright, so it's on 32 count. Picture this plus helix. Lugana, of course. The grime guard is made by me, and the Needleminder is for an Etsy seller that I also buy project bags from, is Crickle Wood Crossing. I was saying Crinkle Wood, but it's just Crickle Wood Crossing. So I will get up close and you can see that. Alright, and this was started for Stitch Mania 2020. So it started on the 2nd of May this year. So this one, you know, I'm probably going to say that about all of them. I love my projects. I think I started saying earlier, for those of you who are new, just so you know, I am a process stitcher. I have come to realize that I focus more on the process of stitching something. So I have no problem with a project taking me for months and months and months. As long as I'm stitching, I'm happy, you know. So, and having 36, it'll be 38 next month, because I have 2 new ones on waiting for the prompt that, okay, so just quickly. Oh darn it. I'm gonna have to pause you guys because I need to pee. Alright. Okay, so you know, while I was gone, I debated whether or not to trim that last little bit off the last piece of footage, but you know what? I say, well, I promised myself this year that I would just let me be me, you know? So, it's perfectly normal for me to say, I gotta go pee. So, because that's my life. Alright, so the next one is in a So Much to Love bag that I do believe was one of this year's Bag of the Month ones. I signed up for Bag of the Month and I have been pretty disappointed. There's just been a couple that are designs that I actually like. So, this is my baby Yoda. So this was started in Stitch Mania this year on May the 4th, of course. So this is a pattern off of Etsy. The seller is called by the name of Vallis Marineris, which I believe is in reference to a section on the moon surface. So he's being stitched with all the called for DMC on a 32 count Lugana with the color in the colorway of pearl gray. And Grime Guard made by me. This cute little Needleminder is from an Etsy seller called CaffinatedCatCrafts, which is so cute. So it's a constellation kind of set in a blue resin or enamel. I don't know what to call that, but it was pretty. And I like tiny little Needleminders because they work well for tiny little projects. Alright, so this was, like I said, started on May the 4th, and he's gotten a few prompts, but I'm hoping, I don't know, did he end up on any of my think he ended up on my WIP Go board. So I will, you know what, if I finish him before next May, I will either start another one of him, or I do have a couple of other patterns that I can pull out, because I got me some more Mandalorian patterns. So I got stash to work from. Alright, so there's my baby Yoda. Alright, the next one is Blissfully Unaware. So, project bag, So Much to Love. Directly ordered off of Etsy, because I love me some flamingos. I am a flamingo person. Okay, so here is what this project basically looks like. It is from Hands On Design. I started this one sometime in 20. We're in 2000s. 2017 sometime. It was, I can't quite figure out. I look back in all of my records, what little records I have, watched my own videos and whatnot. I couldn't figure out why I started this one, other than I love the saying, I love the pattern. So let's go this way with this. It's being stitched on 32 count Lugana. It is a silk weaver fabric called Grape Jam. One of the few, yeah, silk weaver, you know, I love their fabrics, but getting them to mail you anything is... Alright, so a lot of the colors I picked. I didn't go with many of the called fors. Some of them, but not all of them. So once I finish it, I think when I'm finished, I will, on the back of the card, I will record what changes I made. That way when I do the next WIP finishes parade, yep, I can give you a list of all the changes I made, because somebody out there will be interested, rather than me trying to remember at this point in time. But yeah, and I'm not gonna Q-snap these today. You'll see them soon enough in... Where is that thread going? Give me a minute. Oh, the needle's right there. That's why the thread's all funky. Needle's right there. So let's do this. Let's get it. Okie dokie. Sorry guys. My thread is, you know how sometimes you get your threads on either side of your working, you know, working portion of your thread, so your needle won't slide. That's probably why it's there. Okay, never mind. Alright, so learn from my folly. Alright, so the only thing I have left is the wording right in here. So it's very, very close to being done. It will get done this year. I just have to wait for a prompt that it fits, or it gets drawn in whatever WIP Go or Beringo. Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about earlier, and that's the train that left. Okay, so quickly, the magazine monthly challenge group for January is doing their own bingo, but because it's January and it's cold, it's Ingo. So many of my projects have been offered up for that fun little exercise. And that's where the 2 new starts are, so they're waiting for their number to be called in January. Alright, so this one, in my so much to love candy corn bag. I'm pretty sure I ordered this off of Etsy, because I love me some candy corn. So, yeah, direct Etsy purchase. Now, ooh, so, darn it. Many of my projects I have done the thing. Let me find my, do I have a piece of paper I can write on? Make a note. So for candy corn, I need to find its picture. I either find its picture or I find a picture of it and print it off. That way it's in the bag. It makes it so much easier when I'm doing stuff like this. So, but it's pretty simple pattern of a candy corn. And I'm doing this one 2/1 on 22 count white Ada. So tiny, but cute. I mean, it's a once I start getting into the candy corn itself, you're gonna see how cool of a little pattern this is. Okay, so the designers, or the designer company name is OMG. I'm using the called for DMCs, and of course there's no grime guard, there's no Needleminder. This one was started April of 2019 for a magical stitches prompt. You're in the town of Hogsmeade and you needed something to do with Honeyduke's Sweet Shop. So candy corn is a nice sweet little treat. Alright. And sometimes you notice I do find good matchy stuff for my projects. Other times it's whatever's just available at the time when I'm kitting up the project. Okay, so the next project, pretty certain I have to go this way. Yep. Okay. Like I said, for the ones that are vinyl fronted, I think for this one, I will show you them all in my next WIP parade. If it's a new one, I will show it to you. If it's one that I showed here, I won't bother. Because it's a little bit to pull it all out of. Completely out, everything out of the bag is a kind of a, not a pain in the butt, it's just a little bit more to do. Let's put it that way. Alright, so this one, this project bag, I didn't write it down, darn it. Because I consider this a temporary one. It doesn't quite fit, and it's the biggest project bag I have. I need a bigger one, and I either need to sew one, or I need to contract somebody to sew it for me. So we'll see what happens. My plan was when I went to San Antonio for one of the crafty retreats, where I like to sew because it's good. It's a really good setup for sewing there at the retreat center that we meet at. my plan was for this year, I was going to take the stuff with me to sew the project bag for this guy, but yeah. So I have to either decide, do I wait until I can go to one of those retreats, however long that takes, or do I just send the fabric to the person that made this and ask her to make one using my fabric with a bigger zipper. I need like another inch on my zipper and possibly another inch taller, because it's close but it's not quite. Alright, so this I will put in the description the Etsy seller for this. I'd like to say it off the top of my head, but I can't. But I love this one. It's big, it's got a handle, and it looks like an aquarium. I love it. So, but I definitely want to give this seller let me write that down too. I want to give them credit because it's very well made bag, and it was reasonably priced, so everything. So let me just jot down the note. So, because with these cards in the bag with the project, I can make little notes on them. I can update information and whatnot. So I'm just gonna put down my Compass Rose bag info. So after I get done with the video, I'll go find the info and put it onto the card. And then when I get another project bag, I just line it out, and I put the new information on the card. So that works. I like that. Okay, so this is Compass Rose. You've seen this one before, but if you're new, you know, oh, just a second. There's no really bright light source to look at. I kind of have a sneeze coming, so if it happens, excuse me. Alright, so Draco Lair Creations Compass Rose. They're not in business anymore, so this isn't out of print. You can possibly still find it on eBay and whatnot, but best of luck to you. So a little closer, you can see how that is. It's a big project, but there's lots of open space. So concentration of stitching, a nice border, but a lot of open space with all there is backstitched map lines running through there. But it is a cool thing about this pattern is they have one page that is the cross stitch, and they have a second page that is the same section that shows you the back stitch. So that is an excellent thing for, and as detailed as this pattern is, you really do need it. So there is a crap ton of fractionals in this pattern, but that's okay. I don't mind doing them at all. I don't mind at all, because there's some designs where it just adds to. Alright, so at the moment I am so not pulling this out of its grime guard, but should I? No, I've shown you guys in other videos, and you will. What I'll do is once I finish the border, before I start on doing any of the inner stitching, I will give it a good iron and do a video, a specific clip of it to put into the next video. So this is the border along the my directions aren't getting. So along the right side, I have I have completed across and all the way down the left side. And I have come across, but not all the way, most of the way across. So now I'm working down this side. I'm going to get down to the bottom, somewhere down here, and then I'm going to go across and meet up. And I'm pretty confident they're going to meet up because I did grid this monster. This took me days to grid, but it's going to make it so much easier. But yeah, so once I finish stitching the border, then I'm going to back stitch the border, and then I'll start on the inner stitching. Alright, so all of the information. This is 32 count Joblin. It's a color and cotton colorway of sandstone. I thought it was a perfect fabric to, you know, an old map look to it. Because the original fabric that they recommend in the pattern is no longer available. So I had to search and search and search for just the right fabric for this. So I'm using all the called for, which is a mix of DMC and fancy floss. Let's see. I'll tell you real quick. This is going to be a long video, so I do apologize. Sorry, not sorry. Let's put it that way. It's as long as it takes. Alright, so it uses 2 Krennics, 1 Mill Hill, a Gast, 2 Gasts, 3, so 3 colors of Gentle Arts are in here. That's the fancy floss. And I think there's Mill Hill Petite glass beads. I think those are the dragon's eyes. But just take it one part at a time. Oof. It felt cold when I came in here, but it is quickly not cold anymore. So give me a sec. I need to work. Like I said before, give me a sec. I'm wearing fuzzy pants over my shorts, so. And I get hot flashes. So for me, it's a constant battle of I'm comfortable, then I'm too hot, and then I might get cold, so I gotta put clothes back on, and then I get hot again. Constant battle. Alright, so grime guard made by me. These 2. Okay, this one was purchased by Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. It's one of her moons. And this one right here was purchased by a, I believe it was I need to put that down on here since I bought that Needleminder specifically for this project. And, I didn't update its card, so I don't want to say improperly, so I'll put it in description. Anything that I put a note on that I need to go find the information, I'll put it in the description. So nice little compass rose for my compass rose. Alright, let's get everything. See, I can't just shove this stuff into this project bag. There is a definite sequence in which it has to go in, or else it's not going in. Although I do remember I really want to put this with the flap to the back. So this project is going to take me a hell of a long time. Let's put it that way. But it will get done. Because I love this pattern. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I bought it some years ago, and it intimidated me. I'm sad to say that yes, it did. But my stitching skills and sense of what I'm capable of have really improved over these past few years. So a lot of these things that intimidated me before, I'm just doing. I'm getting started and doing them. Okay, so this one, he was started May of 2019 for a Magical Stitches prompt of the Tri-Wizard. They did a WIP list pick, so this was in my WIP list, and that was what was picked. So I put a note on here that I purchased the pattern directly from the designer's website in 2013. So, boo. Alright, we're just going to start stacking on top of that one. Well, can I get him in the bin? Yes, I can. He fits in the bin. Okay, so the bins I use are the ones that you get for the IKEA Kallax shelving units. So these bins are great. I use them to hold my WIPs all the time. Alright, so this next one is in this. Okay, so I'm realizing quickly what I need to do is I need to grab the card so that I can speak about the project bag. And since it is a vinyl front, we'll pull everything out. Of the bag. This is from a seller called Ragtag Quilt Art. So it's a nice big project bag, and it's very bright and colorful. So sometimes I use the bag because of the size I need, and sometimes I can find one that has a correlation. So this project is my DMC Rose. So it's a DMC kit that I had to order from an obscure website. So this was started for Stitch Mania this year. Oh yeah, I had a good Stitch Mania this year. Why does that not want to move at all? The fabric. Well, why? I don't know why I'm worrying about it right now. I will have to adjust it when I start stitching. Okay, so this is this way. This is how much I've gotten done. So love it. So many pinks. So much pink. Of course, I'd use a grime guard. I made a grime guard in pink for this project, and I found a nice pink heart. This was a retreat purchase. So let me just quickly, sort of quickly. I have a group of needleminders that I vaguely recall buying them at Stitchnanigans. And I'm pretty sure the girl's name is Jen. But for the life of me, I have been unable to retrieve the piece of information from whatever synapse it's kept in. I don't know her. I can't remember her last name. I can't remember her Flosstube ID. So, sorry, Jen. But so I'm just gonna say retreat purchase, and you'll know. Unless I specifically say another retreat kind of thing. They're part of that because she had a bunch of needleminders that were right up my alley. So, retreat purchase, Stitch Nanigans. Alright, and like I did say, Stitch Mania started on the 11th of May this year. It's so much fun. I love it's being stitched with the kit floss, which is pretty good. I'm doing it on 18 count white Ada, the Wishelt Easy Count is what I'm using for this. It is a full coverage pattern. Ooh. That just gave me an idea. So Magical Stitches, they have said that they're going to try to vary things a little more. So they want full coverage stitchers to declare a project for this next year. So I think my DMC Rose is going to have to be my full coverage. I was kind of thinking I was going to have to restart my Vermilion Canal sooner than I felt comfortable doing, because I haven't quite had a chance to mess with the different fabrics to figure out which one my stitching will make me happy on. So this makes me very happy. I can use my DMC Rose as my full coverage. Yes. Which means it's going to get a lot of stitching this year, which makes me happy. Alright. This next one, this is a fun project. Okay, so the project bag is a Creations by Mary Rose. So just cute little bees on the inside and sunflowers on the outside. And let's find my picture. This is what the project will look like when it's complete. And here is how much I have done. So this was a Stitch Mania 2020 start. I started this on the 7th of May. Grime Guard is one I made. I made a bunch with this fabric, so you'll see a lot of them. So, made by me, and Needleminder, made by me. This was a bead that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I like it because I can store the needles in the bead hole when I'm not stitching. So, or most often I will have two needles with a project. I have the one that I stitch with, and I have a bigger one that I use as a laying tool. So it's right there whenever I need it. So this is a nice design that I like. Alright, so I am stitching this on 32 count Lugana. It is a Picture This Plus colorway of petals. So it has very subtle pinks and blues in it. So I figured that this would, because I wanted a not white. So it's sort of white, but it's not white. Let's put it that way. I'm using all the called for DMC, so it's all in DMC with a bunch of... Okay, so we got 3 colors of Krennic, which I'm not sure if I'll stick with Krennic or if I'll convert it to Petite Treasure Braid. 2 colors of Mill Hill beads and 2 types of Mill Hill treasures. So very sparkly, very sparkly. So this is gonna be fun. So, and I want to thank Jessie Marie. I saw this pattern on her Flosstube. You know, the first time I saw it was on her Flosstube. So I blame her for the enabling. Thank you, Jessie. Everything back in, and I just quickly look over the information to make sure I didn't skip over anything, and I don't think I mentioned it's a Glendon Place pattern, if you couldn't tell from me showing you the package. So, okay, this is gonna be a long one, I think. This, let me get the card out and pull everything out. This is a project bag by the Ragtag Quilt Art. Again, really pretty leaf pattern on the back. I just love the overall coloration of it, and a very simple inside, which sometimes the inside, I mean, you don't see it very much, so as long as it's not over, as long as it doesn't go against my personal taste, I'm good with whatever the inside is. So this is my Fox and Friend. So Teresa Corbett pattern from this year's Nashville market, and it is being stitched on 32 count Murano in sage. I got a bunch of this off an Etsy or eBay lot, so love it. And it, because the background is not stitched, so I needed a green fabric, and I think this was a good choice for it. Excuse me. Alright, so there he is. He's so cute. I love him. I love him. Alright, so I'm stitching this with the all called for DMC. What did I say I might change? Oh, there's DMC as well as some Weeks Dye Works. I don't know why I put I might change, because I don't feel like I need to change any of the colors in here. Okay, well, so Weeks Dye Works and DMC is what is being stitched in. Grime Guard, made by me. Love my flamingos. And Needleminder was a retreat purchase at StitchCon. So as you can see, StitchCon. So this year just makes me sad because of having to cancel all the retreats. So sad, but necessary. Alright. Did you get to see him enough? He is so darn cute. So I am loving this pattern. Okay, so one thing I wanna say to, if Teresa watches this video, love your patterns. One thing that you do need to do is the 3-stitch overlap on pages. That just makes stitching so much easier for us. So please, 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 please start. If you haven't in your newer patterns started doing it, please start. All right. Next one This is one of my magazine monthly challenge starts. Pull everything out of the bag. So you can see this is another Creations by Mary Rose bag. Like I said, I have many of her bags. So there's the backing fabric. So pretty. So pretty. I'm not normally a browns kind of person, but there was just something about this fabric that spoke to me. I think it's the watercolor kind of feel of it. So, alright. So I have a small picture. Since this is from a magazine, I had to crop and print out this picture. It's from Just Cross Stitch, October 2014. Yes. So that's what it looks like. It's a hands-on design pattern. And here is what I have started. So I have just some of the big pumpkin. It was started on the 22nd of November of this year, so just over a month ago. It is for the magazine monthly challenge for November. You needed something thankful or thank you-ish, and since it says give thanks for this day, that it really did fit. Now I am changing all the colors. So I chose to stitch this on a 32 count Lugana in antique blue from Zweigart, I believe. Grumguard made by me. Needleminder, I am not sure. I think this might have been a gift with a purchase kind of thing, because I can't find any record of it in my Etsy purchases. So, but it's just a cute little wooden owl. So my colors, what I did was, okay, just like my DMC, I use my threads are kept in envelopes in baggies as I'm with the pattern. When I finish a project, the envelopes go into a box in order, and then when I start another project, I go to the box first, see if I already have an envelope on the go, pull those, and the ones that I don't have envelopes, then I pull from my full skeins and make them into the envelopes. Well, I do the same thing with my fancy floss. So I have a photo box of envelopes of fancy floss from previous projects, which I kind of lamented recently to myself. I'm just not using them kind of thing. It's like, because of dye-lot issues, you just feel the need to start with a fresh skein with a project. So I was brainstorming to see how I could use this thread, this leftover thread. Lots of times it's so much, because I needed one length of thread for the project, kind of thing. So I went through my box of enveloped, already prepped threads. So it's cool because these already have been rinsed and they're ready and they're in their envelopes. So it was, I'm glad, I'm happy. I am so happy that I've started using them. I've found things to use them with. So because these are small patterns, I don't really worry about running out of floss. So I went through that box and I found the colors that I want for this pattern. So I'm using Toasted Marshmallow, Classic Colorworks for the white color, Weeks Dyeworks Hunter for the green, Weeks Dyeworks Twilight for the dark blue, and Gast Portobello for the brown. And I did the floss toss on this fabric and it looks really, really good. So that makes me happy. So let me see, is there anything I didn't mention? Nope. covered everything. Yes. Those little things that you just have to let yourself be happy about. Alright, so quickly I'll show you. This is how I determine how big of fabric I need to cut, because I'll put a link to the video where I showed my process. I add quilting fabric to the edges of all my projects, because then I give myself my 2.5 inch border margin on all my projects of stitching fabric for finishing purposes. But then sometimes I need more than that, and by using the margin of additional quilting fabric, I can bring the stitching fabric further into the Q-snap, and I don't have to try to stitch right up against the side. If you know, so it works well for me. I do it for every project, and this is how I use the stitch count on the Yarn Tree fabric calculator. I use their measurements for what the design size is going to be on my 32 count whatever, or whatever fabric I've chosen to use, and then I add I add my margins of 5.5, because I need 2.5 on each side, and then I need another 1/4 inch that's going to get eaten up by the serger. You know, so that's how I figured it out. So I add 5.5 to that number, and then the resultant number is the size that I cut my fabric. I figured that'd just be kind of cool for people to see, kind of get a viewpoint on how I do my things. So if I remember, I will link that video below if you haven't seen it and you're interested. Okay. Whew. Who knows, I might have to do this video in parts, because I'm not even through the first bucket, and my voice is starting to get raspy already. Alright, so my next project, so many of these things just make me happy. Just put a smile on my face. So this project bag is from Etsy, and this seller was the Calculated Stitcher. So this is a cute, so it's really pretty backer fabric, and on the inside wordy fabric. It's just really cute. So this is my Ink Circles growth rings. And as you know, the called for floss is not available, or at least Vicki Clayton Hand-Dyed Fibers, she stopped dyeing for a while. She has recently started again, but I don't think that the colors that are listed in here are even part of her line yet. So I debated for several years, and I finally decided on colors to stitch it in. So this is Dinky Dye's Sapphire, and this is Dinky Dye's Brushfire. Now I'm in love with this color. Something about this is not feeling right. I think the range between the light and the dark is too much maybe, and it just is not really working for this. It might. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish stitching this section, and then I'm going to do all the blue underneath, and then I will decide, do I find another pink thread to use, and I'll just frog out, you know, what's here. So we'll see. But I love, 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 love love this pattern. Love this pattern. I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana in pearl gray. Grime Guard is mine, made by me, and the Needleminder, I believe, is one of my retreat purchases from Stitch Shenanigans. Zombie kitty, love it. Alright, so, yep, I am thrilled when I find a prompt where this fits, so then I can get some stitches on it. It makes me happy. It made me I'm a little bit flummoxed about not liking the pink thread. So now I have my, like I said, I'm going to stitch that section. I'm going to decide then. I have my eyes open. No, I am on the lookout for a replacement thread. So I'll figure it out eventually. But I'm thrilled that good gracious, I forgot. Alright, so Stitch Mania 2020. This was started on the 10th of May. And it was a good day. Alright, 2 more in this bin. Woohoo! Alright, so this is another Creations by Mary Rose bag. So pretty. The butterflies on the back. And a pink, or a black polka dotted fabric. Love it. Alright, so this is my magazine monthly challenge. I know for a fact I printed out a picture for this. I thought I put it in. Have to look at that. Alright, so again, I'm sorry. I promised I would have a picture of this. Pattern backfire. So, this is from Just Cross Stitch, October 2015. It is by Poland Designs. She calls it corn coaster because they were meant to be coasters. I have named it Harvest Corn because it reminds me of Indian corn. I felt I had a good think about it, and I decided I would call it Harvest Corn. So, although if I need a project that starts with I might change my mind. Who knows? Alright, so this is how far I've gotten. This is being stitched with the called for DMCs on a 32 count Lugana in antique blue. The Grime Guard was made by me, and the Needleminder, I think it was a gift with purchase. Might have been Cricklewood Crossing. She does that. She puts stuff in the project bags as little gifts, because I don't have any record of it in my Etsy purchases. So there it is. So I'm very close to being finished with the corn, and then I just have to work on the corn husk and then all the backstitch. This one was started for Magazine Monthly Challenge for September. The theme was autumn or fall, and it fit for me, and I started this on the 8th of September of this year. Ooh. I'm having a lot of fun with, sorry guys, I keep seeing a hair, yep, in my peripheral vision, stuck to my shirt. Alright, so how did that end up in that bag? Oh, because it's another pattern, but I was apparently using it as scratch paper. So I probably have the working copy in with that pattern, but I just was using that as scratch paper. Okay. The next one is my fun one. This is the pattern that I have labeled Herding Cats. Someone asked me why I named it Herding Cats. I was shown in one of my military training schools that I went to. They showed us a video. It's a commercial. It's so funny. Go on YouTube and search Herding Cats, and you'll see the commercial. It was a telecommunications company, but the commercial was so freaking funny. It was awesome. All about herding cats. Herding. Not hurting. Herding cats. So, men on horses, out in the scrub, herding just gobs of cats. It's so funny. Alright, so the pattern that I use for this comes from a freebie from a token. It's a tokens and trifles freebie called Hollow Cats, like Halloween cats, because the original pattern had two cats, a cat and a tombstone, and then two more cats. So I just grabbed the cat pattern itself, and I started this back sometime. I don't have a date. I don't know when I started this. It was one of the iterations of, not magical stitches. Give me a second. Is that Stitch What's? Stitch What's. Yeah. So one year they were doing floss bingo as a pop-up event, and so I was using this for the floss bingo. So whatever color was called, I would grab that color and I would stitch a kitty. So, and then this got put away for a long while, and then I pulled it out because it worked really well for the stitch and watch prompts for magical stitches, because this is a simple pattern. I can stitch on this while I watch a movie, and usually I can finish a kitty by the end of the movie. So one kitty each month gets added, and the color is completely arbitrary. Sometimes I just reach into the box and grab. Sometimes I will grab whatever pattern, whatever project is nearest to me, and pull out of whatever colors are being used on it. It just is completely arbitrary what color I'm going to stitch next. Alright, so the project bag is one by Enchantment Bags. It is our lovely Jennifer Apodaca. I see her whenever I go up to Albuquerque, to one of the Albuquerque retreats, because she lives in Santa Fe. So she does project bags. She's not doing them right now. She's making a lot of masks, but she'll get back to it once this whole thing is over. The inside fabric is sparkly. Love it. So the grime guard made by me. The Needleminder was a gift from one of my table mates at Stitch Away. So cool. I love it. You know, we all got our initial as a needleminder. It's cool. I love those girls. I'm sad that I didn't, you know, that I haven't gotten to see them this year. But hopefully things go well enough that we can meet up at StitchCon this year. If not, then we'll have to wait for next year Stitch Away. But this is on just a piece of 32 count white Lugana. It is a massive piece of fabric. I didn't want to cut it down because I have no idea how long I'll keep going on this. I might have this massive chunk of lines of kitties in all different colors some years down the road, so who knows. But it's a project that makes me happy, and it comes in handy at times. So. Alright, so when I say bin, what I'm talking about is I had them stacked upright in the bin, and then I had ones stacked horizontally on top. So one bin plus the stack on top, done. Alright, so the next project. Now I might have to grab my phone for this one to show you a picture, because I'm not gonna unQ-snap these things. So this project bag is another one from the Calculated Stitcher. Ooh. Big one, and I love it. It is, I think you call this a Jacobean floral. Love it. Love it. Love this bag. And it's a big one. Okay, so it's big enough to hold my project and the pattern pages, but not all the floss. All the floss are in a different... Do I have that bag in here? No. Okay, so I have a So Much to Love bag that I'm not keen on the pattern, but it lends itself to the theme of this, so I use that to hold all the floss. Okay, so this, when I say that, this is my kingdom of books. Oh, so big. It's a massive project. So cool. So cool. This is a kit that I ordered off of mybobbin.com. And it's being stitched with all the kit floss, which kind of sucks in a way because I like to loop my thread and they are super short lengths. But it works out okay because this project has a lot of color changes. It has a lot of confetti to get the you know, the overall effect. So this is where I'm at now. I am working on the center part, upper part. I have finished all of the gate below. Let me see if I can find a picture real quick. If I can find a picture quickly. I took a photo the last time I had it unsnapped. And hopefully that will suffice for now. Trying to find... There we go. Okay, so here's a picture. Let me turn down... Whoop. Need to turn down the brightness so you can see it. Okay, so that doesn't help much. Okay, so there is the whole piece of fabric, and the part that I had finished in the center before I moved to the upper part is, wow, this new camera seems to have much better resolution. What is it? I apologize for this. Usually doing that lowers it dims it, but it doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. There we go. So let's zoom in again so you can see just the shading. It is gorgeous. Oh, yes. Gorgeous. Love this. So, but it's going to take me forever because it's massive. Thankfully, it lends itself to a bunch of prompts. So it gets lots of love. Okay. This is being stitched on 32 count Lugana Summer Sky, I believe is what it's called. It's an actual Zweigart it's dyed by Zweigart. So you can buy it just like this. It's beautiful. It's this cloudy sky look. I ordered like 2 yards of this stuff because I was like, I can think of so many projects that this will work with. Okay, so I'm using all of the kit threads. Grime Guard, made by me. The Needleminder is a purchase from the Cricklewood Crossing on Etsy. It's a pretty little butterfly. So this is what gives me an idea of thinking that it was Cricklewood that gave me that one, because it's the same style. It's like a ceramic tile with a domed sticker on top. So it has the same overall construction. So I think that was from her. So this was Stitch Mania. This was a Stitch Mania start. I started this one on the 5th of May. So all of my Mania starts, I was either started them because they fit a prompt, so those got, started on specific days, but the days that were open for me and the projects that were left over after that first week of prompts, I just spun a wheel. So the days were not completely arbitrary, but mostly arbitrary. So, any more information? Nope. Well, just to tell you, on the listing for it on my bobbin, this is listed as Andriana, is what the name of the designer is, because good luck with that. Yep. So and it is okay, so it is a lot of pages of pattern. The pattern is a massive multi-panel fold out. So I use my scanner to print out portions of it. It's worked out so far, because I didn't want to keep unfolding and refolding and unfolding and refolding and unfolding and refolding that pattern, because it would not last long enough for me to finish this thing. Alright, so there's my kingdom of books. You need to go right there in the bin. I'll grab off the top of the stack. Woohoo! Alright, so this one is a project bag by Etsy seller, Cricklewood Crossing. I can tell because she always puts her little heart charm right there. So it is pretty gold tones on the ornaments, and it's just a gorgeous fabric. So nice, nice, nice. So this one, you know I have a picture, is my Mick Christmas by Christmas by the designer on here. Really tiny at the bottom. Cariad cross stitch. She has a she has a market website. So just do a Google search on Cariad and find it. There's a lot of patterns, and it's not your usual way of ordering stuff, because it's not Etsy, it's not eBay, I think it's a Facebook site. So, but she was really nice, and I love this guy. Love this guy. So here's how much I have done. So his little pom-pom at the top is done, and I'm slowly working on the tartan that's in his hat. The big hat. It's a lot of stitches in this guy. And like someone who's done him before said, yeah, you all that red, and then you get into his face and his beard, and it's like grays for days. So I might dub him as 50 Shades. Alright, so he is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in taupe, because I thought he does look really good on that kind of background. So I'm using all the called for DMC and Grime Guard made by me, Needleminder made by me. That's also a bead from Hobby Lobby, and so I can store needles in the bead hole if I need to. He was also Stitch Mania 2020. Started on the 12th of May of this year. So fun. Fun. I love him. He is so adorable. Lots of stitches though. That's alright. I would be sad if I didn't have all the stitches to do. I need projects that need stitches for these prompts. So down he goes. Whew. Take a quick Dr. Pepper break. This one is, I have to learn, just pull the Q-snap out and then grab all the rest of the stuff. Trying to get everything out at one time, not so bright. Okay, so this is a project bag, Creations by Mary Rose. Pretty blue floral in the back, and a nice blue viney swirl inside. And this project bag fits the theme blue flower, because it's a pattern by the blue flower. So I am working on, booyah, Night Walk Down. So cool. Love this pattern. Although, little trouble with the colors of the floss. So here we go. She's kind of slid over so I can work on the flower, but so far I have her done, and I have the moon she's holding done, but I'm probably going to pull that out because I don't like how it stitched up. So this project is probably going to be a bear for me with choosing colors. Because I'll stitch something, and if I don't like the way it looks, I'm going to have to pick a color. Or if I think that color isn't going to work. So, already, her bodice, old purple paint, but it looks really, really brown. So when I started stitching in the skirt, I was supposed to use it there, and it just wasn't going to look right, so I had to go get it. I had another skein of old purple paint in my stash, which was actually purple. So I don't mind the fact that her bodice is so completely different dye lot, because it looks like a suede bodice. Yeah. So it worked. Her skirt, it was a limited edition thread from like Weeks Dye Works or Gast, I forget which. So it's not available anymore, so I had to pick something. And I believe I stitched that in soot. Or what is that? I guess I need glasses for this. Okay, yes, that's the symbol. So I used Weeks Dye Works Blackboard for the main part of her dress. That took me quite a while to figure out what color I wanted to use for that. Now I'm trying to figure out what color to use for the cat. I think I have decided on this. So, Gast Carriage Black. I think that would look good right there. Although I might have to find one that's more black, less gray, more black. Because that might have enough contrast against her skirt. Because on here, he doesn't have a whole lot of, well, you know, what the camera sees and what you see with your naked eye sometimes is different. But, so, I might have to find a more black. We'll see. This pattern is going to drive me nuts with having to choose colors, I think. But it will be gorgeous when it's done. So much fun. Alright, there's the card. Alright, so, oh, here she is. Grab Guard, made by me. Needleminder, Stitch Shenanigans purchase. So, cute little Hello Kitty. Love my Hello Kitty. Alright, so this was a Stitch Mania started on the 3rd of May. I actually bought this at a retreat. No, I saw it at a retreat. I saw it at Stitch Away, and I fell in love. Took me a while to get the pattern and then to figure out the fabric for it. So I chose to stitch this on 32 count Lugana color and cotton desert taupe, because it has a slight purple overtone to it, and the stitch model wasn't this purple. It was not this much of a purple fabric. So I tried to model it after what I saw the stitch model as. That's why I have to always question what I see here, because I don't think the coloration on this picture is very accurate. So, there it is. Whew, another hot flash. Alright. I can hear my son through the vent. Talking to, I don't know if he's talking to the game, talking to his friends while playing the game. Could be either. Because it happens on a regular basis. Alright, so I kept the little, and my bunch of floss. Which once okay, so what I will do is I will keep a running tally of my color changes that I do on here, and when I do the final, finished video, I will show all of those color changes for anybody who is interested. And if you need to know something prior to then, all you have to do is ask. Alright. So this is a project in a project bag by Crickle Wood Crossing. It's pretty stripy fabric with the acorns and oak leaves. I really do like her bags as well, but she tends to do smaller bags. So since a lot of my projects go big-ish, I prefer Mary Rose's bags because she does do bigger than your average bag. So, all right, so this. How do I not have the picture in here? In a moment. Let's see. I do have it in here. So. Oh, hey, look there. There's my candy corn. That's what candy corn looks like. And there's the company. I think you can still find this one, but I just don't know. Oh, I missed one. I will do this, and then I will go grab the one that is out of order because it doesn't fit in the stack. So this one is my Nothing to Fear by my Big Toe Design. There's nothing to fear but fear itself and spiders. Alright, so here is my project. So there. So close. So close. So all I have is just a little bit of wording and then all the spiders and spider webs. So close. This is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Silvery Moon. I love that color. It's such a nice subtle gray. So it's a not whitish. It works for a lot of projects. Okay, so Gremguard made by me. Needleminder made by me. Another bead that I like to use. So this was started in June of 2019 as a magical stitches prompt of something that you got help with. So I used this because my husband helped me pick some of the colors for this, because I did some conversions in it. I didn't feel like doing all of the fancy floss, so I felt that some of the colors could easily be changed to DMC. And again, I will, so at some point, I will sit down and figure those out. I'll put them on on the thing, and then when this is finished I will show you my changes. So there it is, so close, so pretty, and just snarky humor. I love my snarky humor. This is one of the projects that got stitches during jury duty. I had one jury duty where I didn't even get picked, but I was there all day long for this selection process. So it got stitches then. Alright, so the one that's out of order is back here, because it didn't fit. This is my, oh, I have the thing, grab it. This is where I got it from, and that's the project. It's called Willow, is the name of it, and it's just a DMC. This, this, back when in cross-stitch magazines there was an ad that said send a self-addressed stamped envelope to, and like $1 and we'll send you this. That's what I did. So pretty. I love pussy willows. Where I grew up they were everywhere, but as you can tell this is a big darn pattern. Okay, so project bag made by me, because it's just a tote bag that I sewed. I was practicing boxing my corners, so the bag has no structure to it. I didn't add any of the stuff, what's the word, interfacing. So it's a very floppy bag, but I practiced putting pockets and all that and adding handles and whatnot. So it's just a cute little tote bag that this one lives in for the moment. When I transition this to using a standard Q-snap, I'll talk about that in a moment, it'll get a normal project bag. But here's what it looks like in the weird Q-snap configuration. So yeah, it looks like it's really crooked because of the lumpiness of all that fabric, but also it literally is in the frame crooked, because in order for me to get that branch completely in here I had to orientate it just a little bit off. It works, it throws my eye a bit, but I just have to hold the Q-snap at an angle like this when I'm stitching on it, but it works. So once I finish this bit right here, I will have finished all of the long branches, and then I can move this to maybe an 11 by 11 and then start working on this center part right here where they're all clustered. So I started working on all these branches that go up and out and up and out. So now I'm gonna, once I finish that, I will work on this cluster here, and then I'll work on all of the shading stitches that are all around it and everywhere. It's supposed to be a half stitch. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a half stitch or I don't know, we'll see. But this is being stitched on 14 count Aida. It is the original called for DMC fabric. So the color number is a 738. So it's equivalent to the DMC color, but it's not a solid color. I don't know if I can get up close enough you can see. There is definite shading, just variance in the color, which is why I tried for a long time to find an alternate Lugana to stitch this on, and I just couldn't decide. So I did go and try to find that color of DMC in a 16 or an 18 count, and they don't even make this anymore. So there it is. But I'm not gonna DQ snap this. When I get ready to move it to an 11 by 11, I will do a quick iron, and I will do a clip video to show you the whole biggie thing for next time. Okay, so Grime Guard, one I made, and Needleminder was a purchase. Yep, I bought this. No, this was actually one of my Etsy orders, but I didn't write it down. I'm trying to remember. I think this was the CaffinatedCatCrafts one, but I will put a note here. And figure that out. Okay, so this was started sometime in 2017. So it was a long-standing project. This was, I think, this was my one or two, I might have done 2 projects, but it was a sparse year for Stitch Mania. So this was a Mania 2017 start. So this is being stitched 3 strands over 1 Aida block, because I wanted, since it's 14 count, I really wanted the coverage to be up to snuff. So 3 strands on this puppy. So which is why, as I'm thinking about the background stitches to be 2 strands rather than just 1, maybe that would be enough of a, I'll have to do some to make the decision. But I am anxious to get away from this awkward setup. But this works with this pattern because it's long runs of branches. So it works, but it's awkward. And I'm close to being able to reconfigure the Q-snap for this. Alright, booyah. Let's get you back in your bag. And sit back where you were. Okay, I want to look in this folder real quick to see what other pattern pictures I need to pull out that I need for. Okay, so there's just 1 and 2. Put you over here. I'm gonna have to remember to put candy corn in with its bag, and you need to hang out right there for when that pattern comes along. Okay. Next one. Okay, project bag is a vinyl front, so let's get all this stuff pulled out. This is a Enchantment Bags by Jennifer Apodaca. Red and green chilies. I don't like, granted, I don't eat anything with spicy in it. But I live in New Mexico, so it was perfect. by. Alright, so this is a project. I don't think I have a picture. Nope. Let me write a note. This is a dailycrossstitch.com pattern called All of You. So cute. Alright, so dailycrossstitch.com. He's being stitched on 16 count white Ada with all the called for DMC. This was started in September of 2019. Checking my battery's getting kind of low. If my battery gets down to 1 bar, I'm gonna have to stop and plug the camera in. I was kind of curious to see how long the battery would last on this thing. So maybe it will last for the whole thing. Okay, so it was started for a Magical Stitches prompt. It was the one-day pop-up event they had, and it was your newest WIP. And what's newer than a new start? So he got started. Because it was a kind of a competition to how many stitches you could get in, and I had him on my list of stuff I wanted to start, and so when that popped up, I was like, you know what? I just grabbed a piece of Ada and the floss and started stitching, because he's, you know, a lot of block stitching, so that goes quick on Ada, so even quicker. So what you see here, the shadow of where his bottom half is, I used my friction pen just to dot on the Ada, so I don't even have to follow the pattern. I can just go back and forth. Alright, so grime guard made by me. So cute. This needleminder I made. It was a pin, you know, a pin backed thing from On Base clothing sales, since I am retired Air Force. I like that. So I made it into a needleminder. Alright, so boop, I love you. Love this one. So next time I show him, he'll have a picture. I'll have a picture to show you guys. I am slowly getting my act together on these things. Alright, so this next one. Everything out. I need to just glance at the card to make sure that what I have in my head is accurate. So this is a project bag, is from an Etsy seller called Artful Panache. So there we go. Oh, okay, my camera did just go down to 1 battery bar, so let's just, okay, plugged in. So new camera, the plug-in port is different, so now you're probably in a different, alright. So I will know for the future, just plug it in at the start so I don't have to deal with it. Okay, so Artful Panache off of Etsy. Cute, cute little bag. So cute. It's pretty. So the black, yeah, you can see the black has a pattern to it. That's cool. So there it is. This, again, no picture, so let me write that down. This is also a daily cross stitch picture pattern called Pink Floppy. So this is how far I've gotten on my pink floppy disc. I am stitching this one 1/1 on 28 count Lugana. It's a scrap that I had. It's kind of light tan-ish color. I don't know if you can. Okay, so I turn this way, you get a warm color. I turn this way, you get cool color, because I have daylight lamp on the side and a more warm lamp on that side. So as long as I keep it equidistant between the two, you get a pretty good view. So I'm just using a little tiny hoop for this, because this is a scrap of fabric. The ones that I have in these little hoops, I might add some fabric to the outside so that I can get it into a Q-snap. This is great for just starting it, but working on it, it hurts my hand to hold this little tiny thing when I'm stitching. But I found that my white stitches are in the wrong place, so I'll have to frog those the next time I pull this out. But so yep, no grime guard, no Needleminder at this point. I started him March of 2019. He was started for a Magical Stitches prompt for Muggle studies, and what's more Muggle than an old floppy disk? So and I am using the, am I using called for? I do believe I'm using all the called for, because it was pink to begin with. I didn't change it to pink, it was already a pink floppy. That's probably why I picked it, because I work in IT, so for me an old floppy disk it's fun. Super fun. Okay, next on the pile, you can tell we're progressing through the alphabet. And I might be able to, my voice might last, it just might last through this whole thing. Alright, so this, Project Bag Creations by Mary Rose. Pretty little hearts on the back and puzzle heart on the inside. Pretty. So this is my Teresa Kogut Pray, one of her Angel series. Okay, so far I've been using the called for DMC. It's all DMC, and this is how far I've gotten. So is that the right way? Yep. Okay. Kind of throws me in the viewfinder a bit. So this is done. So now I just have everything else. Lots of stitches in this one. Now, I was looking at Google images of people who have stitched this in this one, and the picture itself. I don't know. I'm thinking that I might, when I'm gonna stitch her skin, the tan parts of her skin first, and then I'm gonna start stitching the red part of her cheek, the pink part of her cheeks. If it's as stark in real life, I am gonna have to find different colors, because that bothers me, you know. So I'm gonna have to find colors that just blend a little bit better with the rest of her face. But there she is. Okay, so she's being stitched on 32 count Lugana Picture This Plus Legacy fabric, because there's just a tiny little bit that is unstitched up in the corner and kind of between her and her wing and over here. So I thought that that would be a good background for her. Grime Guard, made by me. Needleminder was a gift from a stitchy friend. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was one of the gals at Stitch Away. Got it for me. Let's pull it out and read it, because I love it. Okay, it's tiny, so I need my glasses. Alright, so it's from one of the designers. So this is one of the zappy dots. It says, the early bird can have the worm because worms are gross and mornings are stupid. I love that. Because that's exactly how I feel. I am not a morning person. Okay, so there it is. She was started Stitch Mania 2020. So she was started on the 6th of May of this year. I'm kind of stitching this for my mother-in-law, but I'm not in a hurry to get it done. When it's done, I will get it framed, and or I will frame it and give it to her for her room. So I don't know. I'm not going to show you the front of the pattern, but as you can see, I've had to join the pages together because I was having trouble following from one page to another because there's no overlap. So Teresa, hint, hint. Start using overlap. 3 stitches overlap on your pages. Okay. Let's get this one packed up. And on to the next one. I'm kind of running out of steam. I gotta tell you, kind of running out of energy. Whew. But we're on the downhill. We're almost one more in the stack, and then I just have to do what's in the bin. Alright, so this is in a pretty certain, so let me grab, yep, a Creations by Mary Rose. It's creepy ghosts on the back, bats and stuff, and purple. When it's in a cross pattern, what do you call it? It's not a tartan. Is that a harlequin? When it's crisscross like that? I don't know. I think in my mind that's what comes to mind when I think of it, is harlequin. But maybe harlequins aren't 90-degree. Maybe they're more elongated diamonds. Maybe it's still a tartan, even if it's diagonal. Who knows? Somebody knows. Somebody can tell me. Okay, so this is another monthly magazine challenge start. So it was the one I did for October for something spooky. And it comes from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2015. So the actual pattern is much longer. There's 3 scarecrow, but I felt that if I cropped it right there, it looked good to me. So, and what's creepier than rustling old, you know, cornfield and scary damn scarecrows. Ever since I saw a movie where the scarecrow came to life and killed so you know, the teenager that would throw rocks at it, one time it came to life and it killed him, so that just creeps me out. Okay, so this is being stitched. So, how much I have done. This is being stitched on a 32 count Jobelin Bittersweet Light. Yeah, it's a fabric I got off a 1-2-3 stitch. It's pretty. I think it might be a Wushelt. I don't know. Or a it's either a Zweigart or a Wushelt. Because it's not a PTP, picture this plus, or anything else. So the thread that I decided to use for this is DMC 3021, really dark brown. Because to me this looks like the late sunset color, and so your things that are silhouetted won't be completely black in that type of light, so dark brown made sense to me. So this was started in on the 15th of October of this year for the magazine monthly challenge. Okay, Grime Guard was a gift at a retreat. If I'm having trouble remembering the retreat, I'm trying to remember, you know, the table I was sitting at and who I was sitting with. I really think that this may have been the original Flosstube retreat in Austin. I think so. I don't quite remember, but that's what I think it is. But I know it was a gift from one of the girls. She sewed grime guards for everybody at the retreat. So there's that is. And the Needleminder is from the Etsy seller Cricklewood Crossing. Cricklewood Crossing. Kind of like a crick, you know? I had a conversation with my husband uses the same terms, kind of. Pennsylvania and Wisconsin have a lot of the same terminology. So we had a conversation recently where I said, yeah, that creek was so damn big it was almost a stream. Alright, so that's everything that I needed to say about this one. I think I'm getting, well, what time is it? It's only 10:15. So, but since my weekdays start early, very early, I've been going to bed kind of early. Okay, so let's just power through. Tomorrow's going to be rough because it's going to take a little while longer. Might be the longest video I've done in a while. Okay, so this project bag made by me. Booyah! This is my Silver Moon Tea by Mirabilia. That beautiful pattern right there. And she has, I think she holds the record for the number of prompts that she fits into this past year. So good. Now this Q-snap, getting a little loose. When we we need a new dishwasher, so when we get a new dishwasher, those clamps might be going into the dishwasher. Alright. So, there's a card still in the bag. Okay, so here She is. Oh my gosh, look at that. So much done. Excuse me. That's the hazard of drinking Dr. Pepper. I always have to burp afterwards, but you know, I do polite little burps. Okay, she's being stitched on 32 count cream Lugana. I'm using the called for DMC and eventually all of the Mill Hill beads. Lots of beads in this one. She was started, okay, boop, 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 boop. Let me see. Grime Guard, made by me. Needleminder. Okay, for some odd reason, this one is stuck. I must have lost the magnet off the back of this one, but this one was made by me. It's just a button. I made these as backers for my needle minders, but sometimes they get used as needle minders. So the Hufflepuff needle minder was purchased on Etsy. I did not write down who I purchased it from, so I'm gonna have to make a note and update that for the next WIP parade. I like to provide, you know, accurate information. So, but it was an Etsy purchase, because last year Magical Stitches I was Hufflepuff, which is perfect for me because Badger, I'm from Wisconsin, so of course I had to go with the Badgers. And it's cool that she fits right into an 11 by 11. So awesome. So awesome. Alright, so she got started in March of 2019, and it was for a Magical Stitches prompt. I needed brown thread, and then it was at the same week that we were doing the Mirabilia retreat, and so she got started at the retreat, and I started on the brown thread right there. But as you can see, since then she has gotten so many prompts. But so I am currently working on filling in the gaps down here, and then I will start. So the moon stops right about here. It's down here, but I stopped here, so I need to fill in all of this with her teacup and the moon and the steam, and then I'm gonna do her hair and her dress and all that. And so I am going to do one over one on her skin last, and then all of this, all of the beads. So she's got a way to go, but she has gotten a lot of love in these past. That's it. Okay, so April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 9 months since the beginning of April. So 9 months she's gotten buco stitches. And she's fun. She is super fun. Alright, so her pattern is kept on a clipboard, because it's sectioned into 4 pieces. It just seemed to be what worked best. And when I sectioned, because all of her patterns are big fold outs, so I section her patterns out, and as I do it, I build in the stitch. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. This one actually has 10, because that's just how it worked out. 10 stitch overlap on it. So there it is. Alright, so I need to start from the front. Yes. Alright, so the next one, everything out, is in a Enchantment Project Bags by Jennifer Apodaca. So pretty snowflake pattern on that one. And this is, I'm certain I printed out pictures. What did I do with those stupid pictures? You'd think I would have just thrown them in the project bags. Write it down. Although this one may not matter. This one got called for WIP Go for January, and that it will get finished in January. So this is my Splish Splash. So as you can see, this is how I do all of my projects with the fabric on the outside. So I can get them into Q-snaps easier. There it is. Hold you up. Okay, I am stitching this on 28 count white Monaco fabric with the called for DMCs. This came from the Cross Stitch Collection magazine from June 2009. And it was started sometime in 2017 for the, okay, some of you old time, you know, some of you folks, stitchers that have been around the community for a while will remember this if you were part of Stitch What's, the Maliciously Hopeless Challenge. So this is one of the projects that got started for that, our little challenge. So, boop. But the Needleminder is one that I made. It's one of the ones that's a button, not a button, a bead, because that's what I like to do. So I love this image. I love mosaic renditions of water. So this one makes me happy. Okay, so that was Splish Splash, which, yeah, I won't have to worry about a picture, because, well, I won't even need a picture for the finish, because you'll have the finish to look at. So, booyah. It will. Alright, let's get the bags situated in the bin a little better. Alright, so this one. Alright. The project bag is from an Etsy seller and one of our Flosstubers called Pretty Southern. So pretty, so cute. Blueberries and strawberries and coordinating fabric on the back. Oh, so pretty. But honestly, when I ordered it, I didn't realize how small it was. It's tiny, but it's good for little projects. So, spring hoop on this one. This is the Tea Tiny Seasons Spring by Faithworks Designs. Nancy Waller lives down in El Paso, so she runs the group that I go down and meet up with on occasion. Haven't been in a while. This stupid COVID. But this was started at her spring retreat on the 29th of February. So this was also my leap year leap day start. So I figure when we hit the next leap year leap day, I'll finish this. Because it wasn't that, well, no, you were supposed to stitch on the project on the 29th of each month, but since it's a tiny, all the cross stitching is done on this. All I need to do is go in and add all the buttons on it, and then possibly FFO it. And there is a tiny little bee skip, done 1/1 for a little medallion. But it was a cute little kit that she provided during the retreat, which because this was prior to COVID, we all got together down in El Paso at one of the hotels down there and had a nice little low-key retreat. Okay, so I did say the 29th of February 2000. She provided in the kit anchor threads, and she provided 28 count blizzard blue cashel linen to stitch it on. So, trying to think. It's a decent linen, so it doesn't feel too linen-y. Because she knows I don't like linen, so a lot of times she'll switch out the fabric for something that I prefer. So this might be a Lugana. Let's get my glasses and see. Yeah, I would say this is a Lugana. Or it might be a linen. It's a better linen than most linens, let's put it that way. But it's listed as blizzard blue cashel linen. Alright. So you notice I'm kind of shifted down on here. That was so that I can stitch the little bee skip up in the corner. So that will be my next leap day. I will stitch the little bee skip and add all the buttons. Yeah, they're all you can see this. Those are all the buttons that she provided to add to this pattern. Lots of little buttons. Okay, and she finished this in an interesting way. So it's done in a flat prep with cording around it, mounted to a backer board that's been covered with fabric, and the backer board goes into the frame. So it's cute. So this one, yep, it'll get finished when it gets finished. And it has a perfect little home in this tiny little project bag. That is so super cute. I want that to be back that way. Okay. Oh, you'll fit right there. Okay, the next one. Project bag. I ordered 2 of these, so I have another one by Creations by Mary Rose. And this one holds my Through the Storms by Silver Creek Samplers. Cute, super cute pattern. And let me tighten up the fabric a little bit because it got super loose. This is another Q-snap where the clamps need to be reset. So look at cute. 2 little ducks. So this one is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Vintage Stormy Night. So I think this is a, so this is Zweigart. I think it's a Zweigart. Pre-dye. I think I call pre-dye. So they're variegated dye lot, fabrics that aren't over dyed. So these are color fast. So that makes me happy. Alright, so right now, Graham Guard made by me, Needleminder made by me. This is a button from Hobby Lobby, I think. Hobby Lobby, yeah, I think it's one of the little button cards that you can get on the carousel. I love those sparkly snowflake ones. Okay. So this was started in August of this year on the 29th, and it was for a Magical Stitches prompt. I needed a WIP with a duck in it. So none of my WIPs had ducks, and I knew I had this pattern in my stash that I had been meaning to start, so it got started. It makes me happy when I find a reason to start a pattern that I've been wanting to start. Okay, so far, I'm using the called for Fancy Floss because it is entirely kitted in Fancy Floss. So you've got Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, and yep, so just Weeks and Gast. I've made one substitution so far. The Gast Copper did not look good against this color right here. So this color right here, I substituted in Gast Antique Rose, and it looks awesome. So awesome. Let me see if I have, yeah. I still have copper in here. So I had to order this because right now it's hard to get a lot of the threads you need. So I had to order and wait on this. So when I got the copper, I decided that wasn't going to work. Nope. See, look, too much orange in it for that maroony color. So that's when I went diving in my stash and I found the color that worked really, really well with it. Thankfully, I had a color in my stash that would work. If nothing else, I would have had to go with the DMC because that copper just, nope. Nope. Big nope on that one. But so far, so good in the other colors. This pattern is so cool. Alright, so got everything on there. Let's see. Scratch paper for some reason. I don't know why I think I wanted to start jotting down some of the details, but that will happen sometime in the future. Because if I don't start documenting the changes that I make, I will forget. So that's the cool thing about having the cards in here now. I got some place to throw those details on. So just to tell you guys, I've kind of taken a short stitchy break this month. I think I got a little overwhelmed. I mean, just this time of year kind of overwhelms you in most ways, and Magical Stitches, the month, extra credit was another letter spell out, and I just, for some reason, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And then I was spending time diamond painting and wrapping gifts and gaming, because some of my games, they do the holiday events, and they're fun to play, so I've been gaming too. So I haven't put a stitch in anything in a couple of weeks, but that will be remedied in January because Ringo. Yep. And then new Magical Stitches year. I kind of lost steam because I really hated Kingdom Keepers. Freaking hated those books. I stopped reading those books. And then I lost my reading mojo. So I am excited to get back to reading. And when I say reading, audiobooks. I love audiobooks. Alright, so project bag, another Creations by Mary Rose. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful bag. Look, oh, such, love it. Okay, this is my Tired Trio. Yeah, I love this pattern. They're so cute. Little sloths. And this is how much I've gotten done. So, pretty good chunk of it. So, tree and most of 2 sloths. Their faces are done 1/1, so I'm gonna get them all stitched and then do their faces. So there we are. Booyah. This is, okay, Plum Street Samplers is the designer. This is being stitched on a 32 count Lugana color and cotton alabaster. So a nice, not white for the background. Grime Guard, made by me. Needleminder is Retreat Stitch Nanigans Birches. It's that anger guy from Inside Out. Is that the name of the animated flick? Inside Out. I think it is, yes. I love that one. Okay, so this was a Stitch Mania. So the 9th of May of this year, he got started. So far, I have used all of the called fors. We will see. I have a feeling I might make a couple of changes with some of the colors in certain spots, but we'll see. So far, so good. He works well. He's just tiny. It gets a little tight down in the bottom and the top. But so far so good. I've been able to do this, all the stitching without moving the Q-snap. So, excuse me, that one little... I hate it when I have a lip hair that grows long enough to reach down and bug the, this corner of my mouth. Growing old kind of sucks. It does. Okay, yeah. So if you're younger, this is what you have to look forward to. You just get more facial hair. My monkey fur here has gotten more more pronounced too. My husband calls it my monkey fur. So I got little monkey fur right along the jawline here. Thankfully it's light enough that I'm blessed in that way. So, alright, tangent. Speaking of, you know, tangents, we might be buying some chickens, but we won't be keeping them at our house. My husband has a coworker that keeps chickens, and he's offered, you know, hey, we're gonna buy some chicken, buy some chicks. And he'll raise them at his farm, and then when they get old enough, we get fresh slaughtered chickens. So I'm planning to name our chickens Rotisserie, Crispy, Nuggets, Blue, King, Kentucky. I'm sure you can figure Cordon Bleu, Chicken a la King, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, that's what we're gonna name them. And if there's like an extra one I can't think of a good name for, I'll just name it Haas and Pfeffer just to confuse people. So, alright. So, I have passed along all the information. Now, I was a little upset at the get-go because the tree color way darker than what the picture depicts, but I just pressed forward with it. I think it'll be fine. I get a little upset when the picture is so much different than what the floss actually looks like. Just makes life a little bit difficult. The pieces. Go back in this one. Okay, next one. Alright, so this project bag is another Crickle wood crossing, and it's beautiful. Oh, I love that inner fabric, that mosaic tile, and just the colors of it, and kind of grungy, watercolory mandalas in the back. So pretty. Okay, so this is one I actually got a picture printed out. So this is my wash your hands. Only you can prevent the zombie apocalypse. I mean, this thing is so apt right now, but I actually started this before COVID was COVID. I was stitching it for my son because we were having a hard time getting him to wash his hands. Always having to remind him to wash his hands. And I saw, crap. Oh, I hate it when I watch this person all the time, and I can't remember the name. She is a freaking hoot. I love her. So I saw it on her video, and I had to go get it. It's an Etsy seller called Pixel Man. Pixel Man Strikes Back. Okay, so this was started. Let me show you. So here it is. I've actually got the top part stitched, but I'm not gonna Q-snap it. So wash your hands is at the top, and I've started on the words on the bottom. Just getting that, you're working the green down first. Love this pattern. So this is being stitched on 32 count antique blue Lugana with the call for DMC, and it was started on March of 2020, so this year on the 16th of March, for a Magical Stitches prompt, a project with words. I really want, after I saw this on her videos when she finished it, and I bought the pattern, I really wanted to start it, and when they gave me a prompt the something with words, I was like, boom, yes, done. Okay, so Grime Guard made by me. Needleminder made by me. Another bead. Tiny little sun bead that I like to use for projects. So there it is. I'm bummed that I can't just pull her name up out of... She's the something stitcher. But she's... I love her. I love her. After I finish this video is when it will pop into my head. Okay. Boom. Okay, the next one. Some of these project bags are just so cool. Okay, so this is another Creations by Mary Rose. I love this. Okay, so first of all, watermelon. I love watermelon. Second of all, this fabric is awesome because I love watercolor, you know, ambiance to design, and she found watermelon seeds for the inside. Love it. Okay, so this is my watermelon from Little House Needleworks. Cute little pattern. I saw this stitched up at a cross stitch store, LNS, at one of the retreats, and I loved it. So I had to go searching for this because this was only sold as a kit. So I found the kit on Etsy. Yes. And this is how far I've gotten on it. So close. This is so close to done. This one got a lot of stitches during jury duty. I can tell you that right now. A lot of stitches during jury duty. Alright, so boop, 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 boop. This is being stitched on 32 count taupe Lugana. I needed something that was dark enough for that white color, the not white color. What is it? It's crescent color, so now classic color works, but back when this kit was made, it was crescent colors. Bamboo is the white that's used in this. So I'm using all of the kit fancy floss that came in the package. Grime Guard made by me. I found this fabric, same fabric, and so I made Grime Guard for it. And Needleminder is one I made. This is one of my absolute favorite ones that I made from buttons. I don't generally make out of buttons because I don't like the buttonholes, but this one is just so pretty and so awesome that I love it. I love it. So there it is. Alright, so this was started in June of 2019 for a Magical Stitches prompt, things that are touching. So obviously I wanted to stitch this, and so because he's touching, dude, he's literally just munching on the on the watermelon. I can't remember if because of the WIPs I had at the time, I couldn't find anything that really fit as something that's touching, or I just really wanted to start this right then, and it was the perfect prompt to do so. So pretty. So cool. Loving it. Super nice little pattern. And let me show you. pattern. I have old mat board in a color that I don't think anybody would ever actually use to frame something with. I use it as the mounting for some of the smaller patterns. That way it just works perfect for me. Alright, getting there. We're getting there. Alright, so the next one, this one I love. This one's giving me some fits for picking and choosing, floss. I like those burps that are more of a intake than a burp, where your body just does a quick little intake of air. That's what that was. Okay, so this is a pretty certain. Yep, it's a Creations by Mary Rose. Look at this, super cute. Now I do believe I have this fabric, but I didn't have it with me when I was making all the grime guards. So maybe next round of grime guards, but it'll be a while because I made a crap ton of grime guards one weekend. I think last month. Something like that. I had a day where all I did was make grime guards. Okay, so get on with it. Alright, this is the drawn thread. Welcome Spring. And it's that super cute little string. Welcome string. Okay, so this is all about the fancy floss type pattern. And I tried to convert it from the silks to overdyeds, and it just didn't feel right. So I went back and forth until I finally just, I was able to get to a LNS that had a good selection, and I just picked stuff. Okay, so when I'm done with this, I will do all of the changes, show you all of the changes on this. But this is, alright, you know what, I will make an exception just for this one. I won't completely Q-snap it, but I can take off the one side so you can see how far I've gotten. So I have the O completely done, the C, yeah, okay, no, yeah, the C is the flower. Yeah, I can spell. C is the flower, the O is the bird, and then the M is going to be the basket. So I am working on the basket in the M. It's a basket of eggs. So, you know what, I will not subject you to having to watch me or wait for me to re-Q-snap this. So let's just get to all the details. Okay, so this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in taupe. Such a versatile color. I love it. Lots of changes with the floss. Too many to go into right now. But I'm currently using a combination of DMC, Dinky Dyes, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, NPI, and Silken Colors. Oh. Alright, so grime guard made by me. Needleminder was one of the Stitch Nanigans purchases. It's a real pretty dragon scale, or mermaid scale, I think, is what that more closely depicts for me. Alright, so yes, This one I have so much fun stitching on. And this basket has, let's see if I can tell you real quick. I am almost done with the cross stitches that are in the basket, and then after that I have very large rice stitch, overlapping cross, and a satin stitch for the eggs. So the basket has an overlapping cross. So these are just stitched diagrams. So that one right there for the bottom part of the basket. There are these guys in part of the basket in the band midway up, and then the eggs that are inside are all satin stitched. So lots of fun, and such a beautiful pattern. Now I did fall in love with this one. I have a couple other drawn thread patterns that I want to stitch, but I don't have any of the welcome season ones, so I'll have to take a look at what welcome autumn looks like and welcome winter looks like and all of that. So this, oh, I forgot to mention, this was started Stitch Mania, so on the 8th of May of this year. But yeah, some good stuff for Stitch Mania this year, and I had an awesome time. I just felt so in the mood for it, so I went for it. I did 15 new starts. Pretty much, I started on the 2nd of May. I went through most of them, and then the last two had a day in between them. So I did really good this past year. Alright, we are making progress. So this project bag is from an Etsy seller called Willow Hill 7 Studio, and how gorgeous is this? I mean, I'm bummed that it's the inside, you know, so it's covered up a lot of the times, but that, I couldn't pass that up. That is beautiful fabric. And then the other fabric's pretty cool. So, oh, look at that. Love the mandala look. Or, actually, this is not so much mandala. This is like Moroccan tile, and I love Moroccan tile styles. So, I had to get it. Alright, this is from this pattern. You guys saw it in my last update, so I'm doing that little wreath right there. So I'm calling this my, because this whole pattern is called Wild Salt Air, so I'm calling this Wild Salt Air Ornament. And there it is. I haven't gotten any stitches in it since my update, but if you don't watch the updates and you just do the WIP parades, there it is. So this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in light taupe. I'm using the all called for DMCs from this pattern. Grime Guard made by me. Another one of those dragon scale or mermaid scale needle minders. And this was started 1 September of this year for a Magical Stitches prompt, a WIP with a star, and you got bonus points if it was a sea star, a starfish. And so I went looking through my pattern stash and I came across this and I went, yep, gonna start it. So cute. So it got started then. So I didn't mention it's a hands-on design. Love her stuff, and she is such a cool person to meet. So I am thrilled that she chose to design, because her stuff is right up my alley. Okay, so everything. We're good. Although my little zipper pull thing has fallen off. All that's there is a little lobster claw. Sorry. So I'll have to find a doodad to put on there. Alright, we're down to, looks like 4 projects. So close. Okay. I am not going to edit this tonight. I will edit this tomorrow and post it when I get home. I'll edit at work and then I'll post when I get home. So this little project bag was one of the gals at the San Antonio area Stitchers retreat. This was the container that our exchange swap was in. So I obviously picked this because this was beautiful. I love these colors, and I love snowflakes, and just such a cute little project bag. I'm trying to remember, and I can't be absolutely certain, but I think this was sewn by Lucretia. So love it. Those girls are so awesome. I miss getting together with them. Okay, so this is my tiny modernist winter house. That's what it looks like. This is the only house that I currently have in my WIP lineup, and it's because of the colors and the overall composition of it. I really liked it. So here it is so far. That's what I've done. Alright, so this is being stitched on 16 count platinum Aida. I purchased a bunch of Aida rolls from Joann's that was going out of business quite a few years ago. So every once in a while I find a project that just, sorry, my hair, calls for it. So I'm stitching this in all the called for DMC and Grime Guard made by me. Needleminder was a retreat gift from No Name Needleminder. So one of the retreats we were allowed to pick one of her needleminders, and she would give it to us as a gift. So I bought the little kitty peeking up over at you. So cute. Okay, so this one was started October of 2019 for a Magical Stitches prompt, stitch on a human house. And since none of my WIPs have houses in them, I had this pattern in my stash. a good time to start this. So, booyah. And it has come in handy for certain prompts. So, it makes me happy. Okay. I'm just making sure that I have passed along all of the information that I put on the card. Because what's the point of having the card if I don't? Okay. Next one. This is a project. Sorry. Lots of different pieces in here. Project bag from Crickle Wood Crossing. Because you can tell because of the little charm there. I'm not sure she does the charm anymore, but I haven't ordered for a while, so I don't know. But just cute little bunnies. Nice pretty blue fabric on the inside. Love it. So this project, wow, I got really yellow there for a minute. So, anyways, it's funny how different colors make your camera's colors shift. Alright, so this is this project right here. The Winter Snow Owl by Blackberry Lane Designs. My son loves barn owls, and that's a barn owl in his winter scruff. So I'm doing this for him. And this is how far I've gotten. Yeah, this fabric is gonna make my camera's colors shift a lot because super blue. Okay, so this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Picture This Plus Dwarf. Super blue. Super blue. So I'm stitching in all called for DMCs, and then there will be one Mill Hill bead added in the snowflakes. So Grime Guard made by me. Needleminder is one that I got from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. One of her moons. Love it. And this was started Stitch Mania 2020. So this was on the 13th of May. And he's going to be interesting because the very center of his face is 1/1. So I'm going to stitch all the cross stitches around, and then I'll do the 1/1 in the center, and then I will go do all the snowflakes on the outside. But he's very confetti. Lots of little stitches in him. I think what it is I keep this page on top because I don't want my son to see it accidentally. If he walks by when I have it laying out, I don't want him to see it. This is going to be a surprise for him. Yep. Like I said, a very successful Stitch Mania this year. Okay, just two more. So this project bag was a gift from one of the gals at San Antonio Area Stitchers. She stitched one of these for everybody one year. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Pine cones on the inside, pine boughs on the inside. Love it. So pretty. Okay, this is, oh wait, this is the one that I had stashed in the folder. So this is my Christmas in the Pines, and it's it's down at the end of the alphabet because when I write it in my Stitchy tracker, Christmas is a long word. So in order to have a name of a pattern that has Christmas in it and other words, I have to abbreviate it by doing Xmas. So since I always write it as Xmas, I just keep it in that form in my tracker. So, but it's Christmas in the Pines. Such a pretty, super pretty pattern. It's a Stony Creek collection pattern. I saw this stitched up at the Albuquerque retreat and had to buy it. Love it. So this is how much I have done. So I have 3 of the trees completely done. I have the little cardinal. So I have the 4th tree to do over here, and all of the snow and words along the bottom. This pattern is beautiful. So this, find my card, is being stitched 32 count Lugana Picture This Plus Arctic, which is so freaking apt. So it is a just perfect background for this wintry scene. So the pattern uses a combination of DMC and quite a few, let me look here. Weeks Dye Works. So I'm here. I've used the 3 called for over dyes for the trees. I think I'm using an over dye for the trunks as well. Yeah, because I'm stitching them up and down instead of across, because that's how trunks striate. Their bark striates that way. So that's what I'm doing. Now they give you the choice. You can either buy a bead for the cardinal, or they give you a pattern to cross stitch him, and that's what I did. I cross stitched him. He turned out cute, but I converted him into he's already in DMC colors. I think what it is they're using an over dye for the lettering back stitching, and that just, I was like, you're not going to be able to see any of the variegation in a back stitch, so I changed out the lettering to a DMC. And I'm pretty sure they wanted you to use a Glisten Gloss Rainbow Gallery blending thread for the snow, and I just said no, I'm not doing it. So I'm using B5200 for the snow instead. Works for me. All right, so Graham Guard is one I made, and the Needleminder, it was gifted to me by one of the gals at my table at Stitch Away from this year. We were able to go to Stitch Away because it happened in January before COVID became COVID. So that was a gift from one of the girls. It's pretty. So this was started May of 2019, so this was probably a Mania start. And I started this during the 2019 Midwest retreat as well. So, yeah. That's everything I needed for that. So this one got a bit of love this year. It'll be cool when it's finished. I'm just not in any hurry to finish anything, pretty much. God, my voice is taking a beating during this video. Alright. And we got one more. One more. So this is my last WIP. This is a Enchantment Bags, Jennifer Apodaca, Mickey and Minnie. Super cute. Okay, so this, okay, I don't have a picture since it's very simple and it's all one color. I'll hold it back here. So it says 0 days without sarcasm. So it's like one of those status boards at work, 0 days since the last accident. This is for my husband. So it has been 0 days since 0 days without sarcasm. So this is being stitched on 18 count white Ada. It's just basic. I'm using Anchor 3 or Anchor 430. I label it as A310, so it's Anchor equivalent to DMC 310. That's what it works in my brain. So this pattern came from an Etsy seller called Modern Counts. So right there. Because I currently don't have an Q snap, I don't have a grime guard, and I don't have a needle minder. This was started January of 2020 for a Magical Stitches prompt where I needed black stitches. So they had, different colors. You needed different color, so you needed 100 stitches in red and 100 stitches in blue and 100 stitches in brown and 100 stitches in black. And I didn't have anything that had black that I hadn't already stitched the black. So I looked through my pattern stash. I found this one that I had purchased off at Etsy, and it was perfect because it's nothing but black. So it got started. And of course, like I said, this is going to be for my husband, so when I finish it, I will mount it somehow so he can put it up at his work. This is perfect for that. Alright, so that was the last WIP. Booyah. Okay, I have floss that needed to go into my Christmas in the Pines. Okay, last WIP. Yay. So that's it. That is my end of year WIP parade for 2020. Goodbye, 2020. The sucky year. And hello, 2021. So much hope. So much hope that things will just get better. Alright, thank you all for joining me for this. I know people love WIP parades, so that's why I do it. That's why I subject my voice to practically, I'll be surprised if this, I know it's more than an hour. It might be pretty darn, if not more than 2. Alright, so if I can manage it, there'll be a finishes parade tomorrow. We'll see. I might need more than just a 24-hour break in order to do that. But I also have to prep them. Do I have to iron them? I don't know. I would like to, but also I don't want to. So you might get them au natural. So thank you guys for joining me. Have a happy New Year's and happy crafting. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.